In this problem, it tells us that a red, yellow, and blue die are tossed and the numbers facing up are recorded. We want to determine the probability that the yellow and blue die show the same number and that the red die show a number that is greater than the common number on the yellow and blue die. Express your answer as a common fraction. All right, so let's draw out all the possibilities that could happen. Let's start with the yellow die. So with the yellow die, we could roll a 1, could roll a 2, could roll a 3, a 4, a 5, or a 6. These are all our possibilities. Now, each of these happen 1/6 of the time. It's all equal. So that's our yellow die. And so these are the probabilities of all of these happening. So now, with the yellow die taken care of, now we ask, all right, with the blue, what number has to come up in order to fit our condition? Well, for this one, only 1. And that's going to happen 1/6 of the time for blue. And then 2 to match the 2. That's going to be 1/6. And then 3, that's 1/6. And 4, that's 1/6. 5 is 1/6. And 6 is 1/6. Okay, now with red, what numbers can come up that meet our criteria? Well, it just says it has to be greater than the common number on the number shown on yellow and blue. Right now, for this one, it's 1. So that means for red, this could come up 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. So that means we've got a 5 out of 6 chance of this happening. Over here, it's 3, 4, 5, or 6. So that's 4 out of 6. For 3, it's 4, 5, or 6, which is 3 out of 6. Let's see, for 4, numbers greater are 5 and 6, which is 2 out of 6 probability. For 5, the only number bigger than 5 is 6, so that's only going to come up 1/6 of the time. And then for 6, nothing, so that's 0 out of 6. So these are all our probabilities. Now what we have to do is we have to multiply them all. And then once we get our, because we needed the chance of rolling a 1 on the yellow, a 1 on the blue, and a 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 on the red. So it's 1/6 times 1/6 times 5/6. Now this is the reason why I did not reduce 4/6, 3/6, or 2/6. Because if you notice, the denominators are all 6. So let's see, this is out of 6 times 6 times 6 is 216. So all we have to worry, the only thing that'll be different are the numerators. So 1 times 1 times 5 is 5. 1 times 1 times 4 is 4 out of 216. 1 times 1 times 3 is 3. So you're noticing that we have 2 out of 216, then 1 out of 216, and then 0 out of 216. Oops, 16. So we have to total them all up. So 5 plus 4 is 9, plus 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14, plus 1 is 15. So our total probability is 15 out of 216. But that's not a reduced fraction because 15 and 216 both have a 3 that can come out. So when we take the top and divide by 3, we're left with 5. When we take the bottom and divide by 3, we're left with 72. So that is our final probability. There's our answer, and we're done.